Gender refers to the attitudes, feelings, and behaviors that a given culture associates with a person's biological sex. Gender identity is the gender an individual identifies as. It may not be the biological sex they are born with. Gender identity goes beyond the terms male or female. Sex refers to the biological traits distinguishing male and female. This refers to chromosomes, anatomy, hormones, and other physiological components. Sexuality describes an individual's physical, emotional, or sexual attraction to another person. Generally, sexuality is divided into three categories: heterosexual, bisexual, and homosexual. Since the subject of gender, sex, and sexuality covers such a broad range of topics, I chose to focus on the unfair or unequal treatment of women and the LGBT community around the world. Some of these countries included Turkey, Egypt, Ireland, Venezuela, Thailand, England, Mexico, and Sierra Leone. Because of religious and cultural beliefs, a procedure called female genital mutilation, or FGM, is still being practiced around the world. FGM is the practice of partial or total removal of the female genitalia. Although it's illegal in most countries, FGM is still very prevalent today. For example, in Egypt, FGM has been illegal since 2008, but is still widely accepted because of cultural or religious reasons. UNICEF has estimated that 91% of the married female Egyptian population have been mutilated. FGM is seen as a celebratory day in a female's life and is believed to stop a woman from being promiscuous. However, females are now being educated on the harmful effects of FGM. They are now being encouraged to talk about their experiences and feelings towards the subject. Gender-based violence is also another major issue around the world. Earlier this year in Turkey, a 20-year-old female student was raped and brutally beaten to death while traveling in the southeastern part of Turkey. This incident caused an overwhelming response on social media because of the high rates of sexual violence in the country. Women shared their stories all around the world with the hashtag #TellYourStory. Thankfully, there was some good news I learned this semester. In England, at an annual teachers' conference, they approved that students should be taught a positive representation of same-sex relationships in school sex education. They want to create a more positive environment for the LGBTQ community and an understanding about sexuality and gender that fits the 21st century. So why are these issues so prevalent in 2015? From a sociological perspective, gender inequality is a complex mix of structural and cultural factors that needs to be addressed if we want to reduce these issues any farther. Children are still socialized from birth into traditional female and male roles, and gender-based stereotyping incorporating these notions still continues. This form of socialization continues to hold women back, and also because of countries' strict cultural beliefs and practice. Meanwhile, in more developed nations, this creates financial obstacles in the workplace for females, even if they are more qualified for a job than a man. What about the rights of individuals of the LGBTQ community? Although we have made great strides over the last century, we still have a long way to go in creating a socially accepted society for the LGBTQ community. In certain areas of the world, homosexuality is seen as a deviant behavior. They are discriminated and targeted into homophobic violence. It is still seen as a crime in some countries, and you can spend time in prison or receive the death penalty for being convicted. As people, we should be able to choose who we want to love or who we want to identify as, without any consequences. Instead of trying to control and socially exclude the LGBTQ from our society, we should welcome them with open arms and let them choose who they want to love or identify as.
Created using Powtoon.